Okay, I hope you can see my screen and hear me fine. Let me know otherwise. So today I will bring to you this presentation about the Sitecore IoT Hub module and how that can be used in a digital and physical marketing aspect. So we're talking about omni-channel here, not only online interactions, but also offline or physical interactions. We are releasing the module today as part of the user group in Cincinnati. So feel free to reach out to our follow-up material as I go through the presentation. Okay, so I will start by a brief description of, what the IoT Hub module is. Very simple and high level. It's a free module to connect Sitecore with IoT devices. By IoT devices, I mean devices that have the capability to communicate through the internet with other systems or even between them. It uses Microsoft Azure IoT Hub as a middleware that's convenient for several reasons. Especially that you don't have to take care too much with the security and your infrastructure. Your base infrastructure will be guaranteed by Azure. So developers and marketers can interact with the IoT devices. So that's the base thing. The module is there to support the marketing team to have crazy ideas and the developer team to make that real. So as I'm saying, we are releasing the version 1.0 today, and that's something to celebrate today, I guess. Please feel free to go and reach out to our follow-up article. We will find everything there in a high level and more material to come. So why would you need it? So what are the possible applications for a module like this? Okay, so I'll start with a few and with the most impactful one for me, which are the marketing actions. So as a marketing team, you can create actions, not necessarily to sell something specific, but sometimes to promote your brand. You know, marketing actions like that are very important to demonstrate skills and young your profile as a company as a being young or technological. So I'll bring here one important. I would just cherry pick this one, which was the Heineken experience. It was a campaign run in Amsterdam where they created these bottles. The bottles are physical objects, IoT objects, that will be there to guide people through the marketing campaign. So I will play a short video here showing briefly how that works. So people get the bottle and we'll follow with the assistance of the bottle until they find the Heineken Museum. And that's probably one cool example of how that can be used. Low touch solutions, especially now with this COVID situation, this pandemic thing that changed the world. Solutions that requires low touch, low contact between humans will be a trend. So I'll give here one example. This is I call it the smart display. It's there to help you sell without the assistance of a human being. And here we're using several IoT technologies put together. We have face recognition as a user identification, as a key to understand who the user is, what he's feeling, how he's feeling, as key for personalization. We have speech recognition plus chatbots to offer a low-touch user interface. You have presence sensors to react to when a human being is approaching. You have magnetic and light sensors to figure out how what object is being manipulated. So all that to say that you know, this can be built to offer personalized and cool information about how something that you have in your hand. This way, you're tying the physical world, the physical objects that you manipulate, with the digital experience, which is what happens on screen and maybe on speaker phones. The other reason is that nowadays, things like building your own stuff, do-it-yourself, makers world, this is becoming bigger and bigger and more common. If you go to YouTube and just type IoT projects, you find a lot of projects, a lot of channels specialized on that. Some giving you very useful projects like these smart water tank or these door lock, and some other are just doing that for entertainment, like this YouTube channel that I found, the Useless Duck Company. It's very funny. They do like just for entertainment itself, funny things like a baby burping robot, a talking banana, and things like that. So I guess it's important for a brand to connect to these trends as well. And among others, you know, I will bring this wording, inventive marketing. With all these technologies, with all these tools out there, it's just a matter of having a crazy idea and thinking on how to make it happen, because the tools are cheaper than ever and more available than ever. But how does that work? Okay, some important concepts. I will start by talking about the hub itself. The hub comes from the name IoT Hub. So the hub here is just a grouping mechanism, is an entity to group more devices. The name itself is quite self-explanatory. It is like objects, they represent objects. So every hub can have multiple devices, and each device can have one or multiple methods. So the methods are like the interaction points, are ways to interact with your device. So request something or get something back from the device. Here, for instance, as an example of a device, I will bring in an air conditioner. So an air conditioner is like an object, a smart air conditioner in this case, and it has a few of methods, like a method to get the current state, a method to turn on and off, a method to set the temperature. So continue here, very important to know, to understand how Sitecore ties to the Azure hub, okay? So in Azure, we have the hub and the devices like I was describing before. And when you go and create your hub, you have to do the same thing in Sitecore, create your hub. And you're gonna use a connection string to link to that hub. So here you have a screenshot from a hub, Sitecore IoT hub, and here a screenshot from the Sitecore part of that. So we're linking both by using a connection string. The same is true for the device that we have here. Devices in Azure linked to devices in Sitecore. It's also very important to tell how the communication happens between Sitecore and the devices here. Okay, remember we are using Azure as a middleware, so Azure will be our hub here. The first direction of communication is the device to cloud. In this case, device is the object itself, and cloud is our Sitecore solution. So device to cloud is the most direct way to communicate. Basically, just the device sends something to Sitecore, to Azure first, of course. Azure will distribute that back to Sitecore. The cloud to device is where Sitecore asks that by calling a method in the device. Azure will intermediate that, passing the call to the device. The device will do the process that is needed and get back info to Sitecore. Okay, so we are using these two cloud to device and device to cloud communication directions to put together the way that the module works. So we have two method types. One is the one-way device method. So in this way, it's pretty straightforward. Basically, the Sitecore will send a cloud to device request to the device, and we'll get the info back. It's important to use things like that. For instance, when you have to send a command or to update values in the device from Sitecore. For instance, when you want to turn on or turn off the device. And the two-ways direction. The two-ways method direction is where you have a cache in the middle. It's much more efficient. So Sitecore can first request the value in the cache. If the device, if the value is in the cache, it's very fast and for Sitecore to retrieve that info. Otherwise, it will request, Sitecore will request a call to the device. And the device can also keep the cache updated, and that's the important factor here. By using a device to cloud, the device can let the cache also updated. If the cache is empty, Sitecore will send a cloud to device request and fill the cache. So here we are using those things, for instance, when you want to read some value, because the device can let the cache updated when it changes, then it's important to get from a two-ways device method, as it's much more fast, and performatic. So what features the module brings out of the box, and what is planned for future? So I'll start with the existing features. The first and foremost, the most important one, personalization rules. So we put together a couple conditions to retrieve information from the IoT and offer content personalization for that. For instance, here you see we're building a condition, taking data from the smart display object, calling the method get selected objects, and all that you can build visually by selecting your device here or your method there, and you can put together easily personalization the way you are used to in Sitecore. The second one is Sitecore Forms, and here with Sitecore Forms, we are trying to cover the gap in Sitecore with forms. So we put together two artifacts. The first is a value provider. The value provider is here to help us read information from the IoT device and feed a certain field. For instance, here I am showing the value provider get value from IoT device is selected on the temperature field, and when I load the page, it will list the temperature 25 coming from the IoT device. Okay. We also have submit actions, because sometimes you want to send something from the form to IoT device. Here, for instance, we have a button that when you click, you are calling this execute IoT method, that will enable you to select everything, basically. What is the device you want to trigger, what is the method, and what info you want to send to the device. You also have, like I said, it's also for devs. So we also bring along with the module a development API that will enable you to build whatever is not ready. If it's not forms or personalization, you can build your custom module with your custom business rules. Everything is very well documented, and the API is always improving. We have like a good module, Sitecore module. We have a couple pipelines implemented. So I have the invoke method pipeline and the message receive pipeline when Sitecore is calling a method in the IoT, or when Sitecore is receiving the call from the device. And you can extend that, of course, with configuration files. Absolutely. So with that, you can extend and even change the way that the module works easily. Another feature that comes with the module is actually best part of the source code is a lot of examples of IoT devices. Because of course an IoT device can be, and sometimes most of the times will be, a physical device. While you are implementing, while you're building your application, you can deal with virtual devices. And here, the module is bringing you, for your developer team, examples of how to implement that. So we have a smart display, which is part of my demo today. We have thermometers and air conditioning to play together, so you can, use maybe the thermometer to read the temperature, and the air condition to decrease the temperature. A hygrometer and grass watering to read the humidity and turn on the grass watering. Light sensors and light control to turn on and off lights. And all that, of course, are virtual objects. You can get the solution from the Git repository. It's free, and it's very well documented as well. I'm sure by using that, you will be able to build your IoT devices easily. Also, it's important to tell that some there are already a few devices, physical devices, GPSs, the accelerometers that you can buy on Amazon, etc., that they come IoT Hub enabled. So they are already an object that you can use with this module if you don't want to program your own. Some features that we have. In the future, we're gonna put together PowerShell extensions support. So you'll be able to program not just in C#, but also in PowerShell if you like. The marketing automations, we're gonna enable marketing teams to put together automation campaigns that can read and info from devices and also send information to devices for visually put together this with the Sitecore marketing automations. And also, I would like to put here a placeholder for your ideas, because it's just up to you to have your ideas and then figure out how to make that happen. So basically, everything that can join the physical world with electronics or displays, speakers, microphones can be possibly put together to your crazy idea. Where can you get it? So I would like to show here the blog post again. This is the place where we are, describing how the module works. It points to the Git repository. you can feel free to check out and use it as you wish. Okay. How much time do you still have, guys? Left?
We got another 13 minutes.
13 or
Yes.
30? 13.
13.
13. Okay. In that case, I will go briefly through the demo and open to questions. For that, I will bring down here. First, I would like to bring here Sitecore to show the smart display working demo. Let me just bring to the screen. So this, as you can see, is just Sitecore. Normally, it's a page under the home template. I have the smart display. Here we put together one component called the smart display product. It's a component that is capable to show info about the product that you pick, that the user pick. So here we just want to open to show how it's building, you're building conditions just like in normal personalization. We're using the conditions there that comes with the module that enables you to select your device that you want and the method that you want to call. Even if you want to pass some payload, you can also pass the payload. That all out there for marketers to use tomorrow. And when you go to the user view, I'll say, I would like to bring here. So here is the smart display object. This is the one that I told you that is out there in the Git repository. You can just download it and build it yourself, but it's just running here attached to my Sitecore instance. So the idea here is, imagine that the Sitecore instance here, this window, is the small screen that you see there. So the idea is that as I manipulate some object, the Sitecore will show more info about the object. So I will pick here a red headphone. And as you can see, the info, the message has been sent to Sitecore telling that the headphone 1 has been selected. Not sure if it's too small for you to read, but I'll select another one and you see a new line will appear here, passing tablet. Sitecore will receive the message and show info about the tablet. Of course, here I am describing, it's an example, it's just a sample application, and I'm showing the reaction to the sensors that you see here. The small round object here is a sensor. So as the user manipulates the object, the info from that object, because of the sensor, is shown on screen. It also comes part of the module, some demo content. So if you install the module tomorrow, you will have this content as well. Here is a forms example. So I'm taking the room temperature from the thermometer, the air condition temperature from here, and I will just open here one temperature, one thermometer. It's an object, like I said, a virtual object. Command prompt in this case, it's not visual like the smart display, but I'm passing here 23 degrees. I will update here to the temperature of the thermometer to like 35. So if I refresh here, Yeah, I have to open, of course, the two objects. The air condition must be open as well. So I'm turning on and off the air condition. As you can see, it's receiving the message. It's pretty much that what I have for the demo today, guys. I'm happy to answer any question right now. So we have, I guess, 5 or 10 minutes for questions. Feel free to let me know.
Anyone have any questions?
Before anyone asks, the Sitecore IT Hub module is confirmed to work on Sitecore 9.3 and Sitecore 10. So the latest versions are covered.
Hang on a second. If you guys want to unmute, yeah, please feel free to raise your hands and then I'll.
Right. I was going to actually message you on Teams, but I thought that you were not.
Yeah, I ended up in muting everyone just to make sure that, you know.
That's okay. So not question. It's like it's so awesome looking at this module. Like one thing that I was thinking, like the interactive way things can happen through this module. An example I can think of, if I go to the store and buying a headset for my daughter, and I can stand in the store and pick up the headset and tell her, like, look at the website and see what I'm looking at, and look at the specification, and tell me, like, do you like it or something that you are looking for. I guess, like, if it can be other way she's looking at, and I get an indication on the shelf, like, okay, this is the one. I guess there are, like, many security issues to deal with, but it seems like possibilities are, like, limitless, and this looks great actually.
Anybody else have any questions? All right, looks like there's no any questions. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Rodrigo via social channels, and then he will answer them. And with this, we will close this virtual Sitecore user group meeting for October, and we will have a few more this year, and we'll send you details about that in the next few days. Thanks a lot. Take care. Have a good day. Bye-bye.